Hey, hi YouTube, what's going on? This is iTalk2, and in today's video we're going to be covering Overwatch 2 and the fact that they put out a blog post a few days ago, and I haven't really got around to getting to it, but I do have time now to go over it. This is kind of a long news post, so just bear with me here. They say since the launch of Overwatch 2, we've welcomed millions of both new and returning heroes to the game. While most of our updates so far have been about our efforts to address game servers and stability, we also know players are eager to hear about what we are working on for gameplay and other topics. We've seen Sojourn, Junker Queen, and Kiriko completely rock the landscape of the game, blasting and slicing their way into many victories on the battlefield. Today we want to look back at the first week of this brand new chapter for Overwatch and share with you our team's current thinking on hero balance and gameplay. While some heroes are performing better than others, there are a difference across player skill levels. We have been happy to see that no hero's overall power level is far out of the line with our goals. Every hero on the roster has a win rate between 45 to 55%, and we are not planning any immediate balance changes based on what we are seeing, with the exception of a targeted adjustment to Zarya in Total Mayhem, which should go live in our next major patch on October 25th. Instead, our team is planning to make a series of balance changes for Season 2 that are in line with our design goal of ensuring the overall game feels balanced and fair, while giving each season a more distinct identity. While we'll continue looking at hero performance and listening to player feedback prior to finalizing any specific changes to balance for Season 2, we want to share more about what we are seeing so far. Since shifting to a 5v5 format, we see many players focusing on the tank role, given the heightened importance of a single tank in role queue modes. One of the most talked about heroes on the roster right now is D.Va. With buffs after the last beta to her defense matrix and micro missiles, she can put up a fight longer than she could before the launch of Overwatch 2. Despite many players saying she's one of the best tanks in the game, Reinhardt, Sigma, and Zarya actually currently lead up the competition with an average 53% unmirrored win rate. Zarya's new ability to choose where to place each of her two particle barriers often allows her to build up to high energy quickly, which is something we're currently keeping a close eye on for potential changes next season. Junker Queen was a dominant force during the last beta playtest. Because of that, we applied changes to her commanding shout to reduce how dominant the Brawly Deathball team compositions were at the highest skill levels, including the Overwatch League Summer Showdown. We'll keep an eye on her performance in the upcoming weeks to ensure she's an effective tank and fun to play. The team is also monitoring Doomfist's performance and play rate compared to the other tanks. As we look to Season 2, we think it makes sense to evaluate his overall tanking ability and potentially make improvements to Power Block and Meteor Strike. I want to quickly just give my thoughts here on what they think about the tanks. Yeah, D.Va, Zarya, I think they're both phenomenal in the game right now. Sigma's damage output is really good. Reinhardt is a really good brawly tank. Doomfist feels horrible in this current gameplay right now. He is just terrible. I play Ana a lot, and I could just easily sleep him when he's using the Power Block, and that completely kills the momentum of his entire push. So yeah, they really need to fix him up. And then Junker Queen, yeah, she's annoying to deal with for lower ranks and middle ranks, but like in higher ranks, I don't think she's very good at all, because that commanding shout ability was definitely something that made her strong. It's still strong again in the middle ranks, but I think for higher ranks, she's just not performing as well. One thing I want to mention here that I wish they would actually show us is the rank difference between the win rates, because you can say that, oh, they have like a 45 to 55% win rate. Show me the ranks of the players that are performing that well or that bad. It's really important to show how good people are doing in bronze and how people are doing good in Grandmaster, depending on the character they're using, because that could be a serious issue if we don't address the fact that, oh, they're over dominating in the higher ranks, but in the lower ranks, they're just not very viable. It's good to actually see more stats like this. I appreciate them being so upfront and talking with us about this kind of stuff, but I would like a bit more data to kind of prove all of this here. They mention here the damage roll has seen many hero combinations across all ranks, but we've noticed some popular picks among our players. Genji and Sojourn started as the most popular heroes when Overwatch 2 launched, but they've since leveled out to the rest of the damage roster. Genji started off with a dominating win rate, and although it's lowered slightly since launch, currently at 52%, we want to make sure he's not dominating the playing field. We'll watch Genji carefully throughout the season to ensure he doesn't slice up the competition too much, and may make adjustments in Season 2. One way we are considering doing this is through an adjustment to the damage roll passive, which has benefited heroes like Genji. Sombra is also hacking her way through the backlines in many games. We adjusted her damage potential to be optimal on targets that she hacks. However, we want to ensure her targets have a reasonable time to fight back, so we'll continue to look to balance her hack ability lockout duration when we approach Season 2. We also heard feedback that tanks feel oppressed when a Sombra is focusing them with hacks, which will also be something we look to control next season. Symmetra and Torbjorn are two other damage heroes that we are keeping a close eye on for now. Over the course of the first week, their win rates have been gradually increasing, and they are showing the highest win rates now at some ranks. Both heroes can be effective counters to Genji and may be enjoying their success due to his popularity. When we look at potentially making changes to them, we need to keep in mind the landscape of the rest of the hero roster. For example, if Genji is tweaked and possibly played less, these heroes might see less success and not need adjustments themselves. So that was what they had to say about the damage heroes. Yeah, Genji, Sojourn, Sombra all feel very oppressive right now, and hopefully they do get some nerfs. Now, it does suck that they mentioned that all these nerfs will be coming in at like Season 2. That's like almost 2 months from now. And I don't know how I feel about them adjusting the time where they nerf and buff heroes, because like I think before they used to do it like in the very beginning of the game. It almost felt like they were doing that like every maybe 3 to 4 weeks. Now it's 2 months. I don't necessarily know how I feel about that, because why would I want to play a game for the next 2 months where I know that they're not going to nerf and buff characters that need it? Like 2 months seems just a bit too long. But let's see what they say here about the support heroes. They say Kiriko has been well received by the community with an initial play rate of over 75% in most matches when we first launched, making her an instant favorite among many players. This play rate has since balanced out compared to other support heroes. However, her win rate increased from 48% to 52% as players learned her kit and playstyle over this past week. Her healing averages in the middle when you compare it to the rest of the support roster, and her damage output right now is about even with Ana, which is relatively low compared to heroes like Lucio, Moira, and Brig. Kiriko gets a lot of value in her evasiveness with wall climb and swift step to get out of harm's way, allowing her to stay alive longer in team fights and making her the most survivable support hero on the roster currently. We're keeping an eye on how she performs in the weeks ahead of the Overwatch League playoffs next month. So there you go with that. That's what they have to say about the healers. Not a whole lot here. They're just mentioning Kiriko and how she gets played a lot. Obviously, she's the new character. But yeah, I think they need to address Mercy. She's just not very good with her healing beam right now. I'm not saying they need to buff it. I think it's already pretty decent, but with how fast paced the game is, like people just melt really fast. So Mercy does not feel viable at all, because you got to remember too, this is 5v5 now. And in 6v6, you were playing with one less character because that person was healing or damage boosting another character. So you had to have a decent team comp in order for you to take advantage of Mercy's constant power or healing. In this, now it's a 4v5, and that feels even worse compared to the fact that they have tanks that are way stronger now. So I don't know. I feel like that she needs slight tweaking. Moira does a ton of damage, and there's tons of memes all over the internet about how Moira mains just do nothing but damage, and I just find that to be hilarious. But they mention here that, yeah, Moira's damage is higher than Kiriko's and Ana's, and I honestly don't really like Moira being such a oppressive hero in terms of just draining damage. Like, I have to play her to counter Genji because Genji is so obnoxious in my games. And even like Sombra, like if a Sombra's hacking me, if you just hold down the right click, if you just touch the Sombra, she will lose her hack. So yeah, I mean, I get why Moira is being played. I love Brig in this game. I know that she's kind of like, not a god tier pick, but not a worst pick either. Like, I really enjoy using her stun, which isn't even really a stun anymore, and her flail. It's super fun to use, and you do get a lot of base healing from it still. So I like Brig's position. Lucio, I think he's super good because he's the only character that provides a speed boost as well as just being able to make people move faster in general anyway. Like, yeah, you can do that with Kiriko, but that's with her ultimate. So no other character really offers like a speed thing like Lucio does. They mention here too, with new and returning maps based on locations worldwide, we want each season in Overwatch 2 to feel refreshing and exciting for new and returning players. To support that goal and also to allow our team, when we think it's appropriate, to make adjustments to our maps we have begun to run a map pool featuring all new locations and many original maps. For Season 1, we're playing on the following maps for both quick and competitive play. So for Control, we have Ilios, Lijiang Tower, Oasis, Nepal, and Busan. And we have them for like these different lighting things. Then you can see here for Escort, it's Circuit Royale, Dorado, Route 66, Gibraltar, and Junkertown. Then for Hybrid, we have Midtown, Kings Row, Eichenwald, Hollywood, and Periasto. I think that's how you pronounce that. And then for Push, we have New Queen Street, Colosso, and Esperanza. I don't know how to pronounce these maps just yet. I apologize, but those are the maps that we have. And they have like different lighting and stuff like that, which I think is really cool. I do think that they'll probably just like change up the lighting on each of these maps each season, and they'll like kind of change up the maps as well. I think that's a good idea. I don't know how well that worked for Overwatch 1 because I think they did do this before and a lot of people didn't really like that. So we'll have to see how the community reacts to it. I don't necessarily think it's the worst idea. We already have a ton of maps, which I'm very happy about, but yeah, I don't know. I still miss maps like Numbani, Blizzard World. Like, there's other maps in the game that I do genuinely miss. And I really hope that maps like Temple of Anubis, Volskaya, Hanamura, I hope those maps get remade into a different mode. Like, I think it'd be cool if they could actually make like an escort map for maps like Hanamura, because that would actually be a really good idea because they really don't need to do much to the maps. All they would need to do is add more cover because, again, we're running less barriers, so they're doing that to maps now. And the fact that you're actually able to just plop a mode on it and you already have the map made, I don't see why they couldn't just put a different game mode on top of a 2CP map. I know it's not that easy to do, but I hope they take it into consideration because I really don't want to lose out on some of these maps. They mention each subsequent season we will rotate some maps out of the map pool and bring back others that have been previously out of rotation. As we continue to rotate maps in and out, we'll be looking at improving and tweaking them. For example, when Rialto returns in Season 2, players will notice a few spots where we have additional added cover, which should help the map play better in a 5v5 environment with reduced shields. For players who want to play maps not currently in the map rotation, hop into a custom game or the occasional arcade mode, which is a good idea to get people to play arcade because there are challenges related to arcade mode, and getting people to just play different maps by going to the arcade, I think it's a pretty cool idea. We're also watching your feedback about how we present your skill tier and division and how you celebrate that in game. While we don't have any details we can share yet, expect us to make more improvements to competitive, and we'll continue to watch for your feedback. Our team would like to apologize for ranking many players too low during the first week of Overwatch 2. We discovered a bug that was impacting player skill ratings, which is what contributed to many players being placed in Bronze 5 when they should have been placed higher. Our most recent patch included a fix that will help you get back to your true rank quickly, and that will be reflected the next time you receive a competitive ranking update. You will receive a boost as you continue playing to help you get up to the correct ranks. Players who haven't placed yet in competitive won't experience this issue after the fix goes live. And that's what they had to say about competitive. I think that this is all very good. And then they mentioned this: we want to ensure games play out fairly for all players in all matches. In a future patch, we'll fix an issue that could cause some rubber banding in game. Thank you. We also want to be certain that hit registration for shots fired is working pixel perfectly. We have investigated reports from players about hit registration, and many reports are actually related to how our replay tool works, which does not perfectly capture the alignment of each player's aim. There are also misconceptions about how our controller settings on PC work, which does not affect mouse input. As an example, aim smoothing under gamepad does not impact mouse input latency or precision. However, in one report we discovered a bug that affected the hitbox alignment of our rendered objects for Junker Queen in some specific situations, and we're working diligently to fix this issue. We also understand that some PC players have concerns with input responsiveness and recommend trying out these changes to improve how quickly the game responds to your player input. And then they have all these sort of things here, which I'll just leave on the screen here. They also say thank you all the players who were part of the first week of Overwatch 2. While this time has been incredibly exciting for the community and our team, it also comes with many challenges that we're looking to address quickly. We will continue to listen to player feedback as we strive to make Overwatch 2 the best game it can be, and we are looking forward to sharing more in the coming weeks leading up to Season 2. In the meantime, we hope everyone is having a blast in the game, and we will talk again soon. I love how they mentioned all of this, right? But they didn't mention the pricing. That is one of the biggest complaints that people are making right now, and they just don't want to address it yet. I'm telling you, I feel like this is all Activision's doing, just making it so the prices are so egregious, and they're like, yeah, Blizzard, you're not going to talk about this publicly yet, because it's going to affect a lot of things. Like, if they defend their prices, that's going to piss people off. But then if they actually listen to the feedback and decrease the prices, that would make everyone happy. However, that would piss off Activision. So I don't know. I know it's Activision pulling the strings here. I've seen it before with games like in Black Ops 3, where I think they even said like David Vonderhaar didn't want supply drops to even be in the game. They wanted to give people the free weapons and stuff like that, but Activision was like, ha, you're not doing that. You're going to put them in supply drops. So I believe the devs here, and I want to believe that they didn't have a say in the price, and hopefully it gets addressed soon, because we have that Halloween event coming up, and I know for a fact people are going to be so pissed off when they realize how expensive the cosmetics are in this event and in general. So guys, that's it for the video today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, let me know with a like and subscribe to the channel if you're brand new. Have a good one, everyone. See ya.